knowledge in agricultural biodiversity where I was living and working, farmers and interns alike were desperately waiting for the monsoons to bring relief from the heat. The first rains would mark the beginning of the rice transplanting season, as well as a visit from the organization's founder, Dr. Vandana Shiva. When she came, she introduced the term ecofeminism, which advocates for the role of women as the protectors of their communities and their families against environmental destruction. She said science and technology are not gender neutral, and we can see the relationship of exploitative dominance between man and nature and the oppressive relationship between men and women in all patriarchal societies. Dr. Vandana Shiva is an Indian scholar, environmental activist, ecofeminist, and anti-globalist. Currently based in Delhi, Dr. Shiva has authored over 20 books and is an international figure for indigenous rights. She's received numerous accolades for her work defending agricultural biodiversity and food sovereignty, and serves on the board of the International Forum on Globalization. In 1993, Dr. Shiva was awarded the Alternative Nobel Prize, the Right Livelihood Award, and in 2003 was recognized as Time Magazine's Environmental Hero. Dr. Shiva is a major figure of the global solidarity movement known as the Alter Globalization Movement, and is the celebrated author of ecofeminist literature. She advocates for a women-focused system that acknowledges the unequal distribution of ecological destruction within the current industrialized system of food production and trade. So in 1984, Dr. Shiva founded the Navdani Foundation in the northern Indian state of Uttarakhand as a response to the harmful impacts that industrial biotechnologies have had on women since the Green Revolution. Holding a Master's of Science in Physics from Punjab University in Chandigarh and a PhD in Philosophy from the University of Western Ontario, Dr. Shiva will speak on the industrialized model of agriculture, a topic of specific relevance to us here in Louisiana, home of petrochemical production. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Vandana Shiva.
Thank you so much, Leah, and thank you to the Environmental Studies program for organizing talk today. I'm very honored to be able to visit New Orleans. It's been in my mind since Katrina, and the Gulf of Mexico has been in my mind since the BP disaster. In fact, I worked with movements from around the world to file a case under Ecuadorian law, which recognizes the rights of nature. And since nature is everywhere and the entire planet, and every one of us has a duty to protect the earth, we actually filed a case against BP under the in the constitutional courts of Ecuador, and it was admitted. I don't know what the status of it is. When I say soil, not oil, of course it rhymes, and that's good, isn't it? But there are really three reasons why I wrote the book, Soil, Not Oil. The first is that even though when you really add up the different contributions to the greenhouse gases, industrial agriculture and globalized food systems account for about 50% of all emissions. But it wasn't a discussion at all. So I wrote this book before Copenhagen so we could introduce this into the discussion. And I'm very, very happy that by the time the Paris summit happened, the French government picked this up as the most important issue. And now everyone's recognizing that in the soil lie the solutions to the problems of climate havoc that oil has created. But it isn't just climate change. For me, soil and oil are also metaphors of how different systems of thought, of science, of the economy, of our relationships with each other and the earth the status of the planet's health and the status of our health, how all of that is shaped by whether we live in our minds and in our lives in worlds defined by soil, or we live in worlds defined by oil. Soil, of course, is a very powerful word itself. We have 1,000 names. And the beautiful thing about Indian civilization is we realize that life is about diversity. And we're not satisfied till everything has 1,000 names. So the Ganges has 1,000 names, the soil and the mother goddess of the soil has 1,000 names. But even in English, soil was referred to as humus in Latin, and it is the same roots as the word human. But oil came in the way and made us feel we are separate from the earth. I've just come from wonderful interaction with students who organized the lecture at the Jewish Center. The word Adam comes from Adamus, also soil. So all our civilizations saw us as made of soil in a literal way. We are made of the earth, her soil, her water. But not just in terms of the materiality of who we are, but in terms of the continuity of life. That the soil holds the potential for life. That's what soil is. And it holds the potential for life in constantly evolving form. On the other hand, oil is based on the idea that we are not of the earth, that we are its masters and its conquerors, that if we have the power to drill or to frack, that power gives us absolute power. It gives us absolute power to not just exercise domination over the earth, but domination over any society that could be anywhere, because unlike soil, which is everywhere, oil is only in few places. And so when a handful of interests realize, yeah, we can make big money out of it, they start carving out the planet. And I think it would be a wonderful exercise for some students to see what the map looked like before oil. The map of the Middle East didn't look like what it is. Most of the wars in the Middle East have been oil wars. But the war is not just physically to take control of these fossilized deposits, which actually millions of years ago were products of the soil. They are basically plants that have been fossilized over time. But it also creates a fossilized way of thinking about life on Earth, thinking about ourselves. It is the fossil fuel age, beginning with coal, that gave rise to the mechanistic mindset. That the earth is dead matter, the world is like a machine, some external power puts it together. And this entire thinking of external inputs creates two other related problems. You know, you have this piece of land, I know my limits, this is where I have to grow my food, this is the garden I can grow, this is the society I can have. And as long as people were not uprooted, nowhere in history have human populations increased. The relationship with the soil has been the most important regulator of population, because people are conscious, people are intelligent. So, two cases I know very clearly. In my country, the population was stable over millennia, till the British came, grabbed the land, changed land tenure, peasants were uprooted. That's when the population started to increase. In Scotland, there were the Highland clearances, also partly related to coal and the creation of the mechanized textile industry, which allowed more demand for raw material. Initially it was wool from within England, then it was cotton, which moved to this part. Your region had a very big role. But while it was wool, more and more land had to be taken from peasants, and sheep were put to grow the wool. And I remember a book which said, "Sheep eat men." Those were the years of the Highland clearances. And that is when the population started to increase. And then here there was a migration possible. Nova Scotia was settled. But every place where there's uprooting, there's been a destabilization of population. And that is where we no longer have a relationship of sustainability. Also creates the idea of limitless growth. I don't have to be limited by anything. Just keep getting more coal out and keep getting more gas out, and when the oil in easily accessible places disappears, just go into the ocean, just get into the tar sands of Canada, just go frack, then lay the entire continent with pipelines to move oil and gas from where it is to other places where the demand is. And I want to pay tribute today to the people who have sustained the struggle at Standing Rock. It is the ultimate symbol in our times of the soil versus oil clash. That's the real clash of civilization. Look what Samuel Huntington wrote. Absolute rubbish. You can't know who you are till you know who you hate. You only know who you are when around you are relationships of love, whether it's for the earth or your family. Leah's one amazing family is here. That's what has shaped her. That's what makes Leah. Not the fact that she can hate someone in the Middle East. That is an oil imagination, because oil allows this distancing, yeah? And that imagination then allows you to imagine that your identity or your security is at stake because someone told you that someone else far away is your enemy. And you know, part of the soil ethos is knowing our relationships. So in India, when we breathe in and we breathe out the amazing pranayama, what we say is soham, you are, therefore I am. But that logic, which says that I can only know who I am till I know who I hate, and I hate you, and therefore I have to exterminate you because you're such a threat to me. And you can see how from knowing we are humans who are of the earth and of the soil, it's become my identity is based on your extermination. So not only do we see in Standing Rock this amazing conflict, we see it everywhere. In every nook and corner of every society today. Oil has also shaped not just the mechanistic science, that the world is made of separated, immutable particles. And that's why I feel so grateful that I did a PhD in quantum theory, which teaches us that everything is related. There's no separability. That was the topic of my PhD. Hidden variables and non-locality in quantum theory. And yet you continue with an imagination that everything is separate. We are separate from the earth, nature is separate in itself. And the refusal to see connection, the blindness. But it has also created a particular kind of economy that we call economy today. economy is derived from the same roots as ecology, which means home. Knowing your home is the science, which is ecology. Managing your home is what economy was. Aristotle way back differentiated between oikonomia, the art of living, and chrematistics, the art of money making. And with this idea of limitless growth, which comes from oil, you also have the idea, the related idea, of limited wealth accumulation, of limitless wealth accumulation. I won't go into too much detail about what this means in terms of the actual economy, that those who work are punished. Those who don't work and exploit the earth and people are rewarded. That's what the taxation system is. That's why you have a 1% economy. That's why you have this strange situation that 6 years ago, 388 men controlled the wealth equal to half the population. It had dropped to 62 last year, and the Oxfam report said, these 62 men can be put in a bus. Well, they've now been made so small they can be put in a small van. They're just 8. In a year, 62 to 8, but if you were to extrapolate from there, what are we talking about? So limitless inequality becomes a part of the construction of illusions that substitute the reality that living with soil requires of us. When living soils are destroyed, societies are uprooted. We have an ancient Veda which says, in this handful of soil is your future. Take care of it, it will take care of you. It will provide you with all the food, all the fiber, all the beauty you need. Destroy it, it's going to destroy you. All history is about civilizations that disappeared because soil was destroyed. And even in our times, just 2 regions. In 2009, the only meaning of Isis was the Egyptian goddess of the earth. In 2009. Till past 2011, Isis did not exist in the vocabulary as a violent force. 2009, there was an increased impact of drought in Syria. Meantime, since the days of the Green Revolution of the 60s, there had been extraction of water, the groundwater had been mined, because the Green Revolution is nothing more than an oil revolution in agriculture. Every ingredient of chemical industrial farming is an oil-based product. As far as fertilizers are concerned, they are made from fossil fuels. Synthetic nitrogen fertilizers. But they also made exactly in the same factories that made explosives during the war, which is why so much of the new bombs that get made in Afghanistan or Oklahoma or Oslo, they're always fertilizer bombs. The original pesticides, the original chemicals like xylon, the gas that gassed people in concentration camps, are source of pesticides later, poison gas, nerve gases. Their first objective was to kill other human beings. After the wars, those who got addicted to making profits by killing worked out an amazing spin that without chemicals you can't feed the world. And all the amazing diversity on this planet is out to get you. Have you seen ads on pesticides? Look at ads on pesticides. Because while it is a war on bugs, it is a war on life. Because you kill the beneficiary, you kill ourselves. I began this journey of looking at agriculture with the gas leak of the pesticide plant of Union Carbide in 1984. That and the Punjab violence. Punjab had erupted in huge violence. Punjab was the place where the first application of this thing called the Green Revolution was made. The Green Revolution, which is nothing but introducing fossil fuels into agriculture, was given a Nobel Peace Prize. And yet, by the 80s, in 84, Punjab was not a land of peace, it was a land of war. And that is what made me study it. I said, if this was about peace, why is there war? And what was the Green Revolution? I was busy doing quantum theory. I wrote the book called The Violence of the Green Revolution as a result of this. And I had seen in detail how the entry of oil into agriculture totally destroys your water systems. It requires 10 times more water to grow the same amount of food. And very rapidly, you run out of your surface water. Very rapidly, you mine your groundwater. And that is what had happened in Syria. So there was no groundwater. In addition, the soils had been made more vulnerable to drought because without organic matter, soils have no water holding capacity. And without irrigation, they won't be able to grow anything. Whereas with good organic matter, a 0.5% increase in organic matter can increase the water holding capacity by 80,000 liters, which is not just a solution to drought, it's also a solution to flooding. Because when your water is not being absorbed by the soil, then it causes more flooding, which is the reason so much more floods are taking place, both because of the destruction of the soil structure with the heavy machinery and the chemical fertilizers, as well as the concretization. And there are huge movements now for reclaiming the soil from the concrete, particularly in Europe, liberating the soil. So you have the drought, you run out of water. 1 million peasants got uprooted in 2009. They moved into the cities. That was the beginning. Now, normal times, they had been kept. All societies had an obligation to help farmers. But we have a new paradigm. In our part of the world, we call it structural adjustment. Other places, it's called neoliberalism. In some places, it's called austerity. But basically, you're not allowed to help your farmers. You can give subsidies to big agribusiness. You can give 400 billion subsidies annually to make a very artificial system work. And repeatedly, even today, during our discussions, the term comes up all the time. It's difficult for the poor to have access to good food because bad food, junk food, processed food is cheaper. It's not cheaper. That's a lie. It's made cheap. It's made cheap by subsidies that go directly into that system. It's made cheap by externalizing the true costs. So we've done the assessment for India largely because this kind of chemical intensive, energy intensive, capital intensive agriculture linked to globalization and monopolies on seed has triggered something we've never seen in my country, farmer suicides. More than 300,000. In fact, there's 10,000 added between the time I did the data last and now. And our data is not kept by our government. And the data tells you which part of the country has how many suicides. And you just make a map of which part of the country is growing the GMO crops, is doing industrial farming, and it's a one-to-one correspondence. So the debt of the farmers is related to this. The suicides of the farmers is related to this. But the suicides of the farmers is one aspect of the externalities that are not counted. So we did an assessment of what is the harm to society and what is the harm to the environment. And again, we took official statistics of soil erosion, water depletion, water pollution, pesticide deaths, disappearance of pollinators, and put the costing to it. It's $1.2 trillion annually for India alone. $1.2 trillion. And that's just society and the environment. At that time, I hadn't started to think too deeply about the health aspect, but I had 3 nieces I've had to look after who had cancer. The diabetes epidemic has already hit. I think the figures are 36 million Indians. We are the epicenter of diabetes now, and the cardiovascular diseases and the neurological problems. And all I did was take the cost, again, these are official statistics, what is it costing to give cancer care? What is it costing to give diabetes care? What is it costing people? That's another $1 trillion and more. And just the cost of treatment. Of course, we've been doing ecological farming. Leah had come to the farm I built to practice a non-violent fossil fuel-free agriculture. So we have, as you've seen, the draft animals, we have bullocks, we have cows. I think we have the 4th generation now of the boys and the girls both. There is this new fundamentalist thinking that we don't need girls in humans and we don't need boys in animals. Because, cows are milk machines and we don't need draft animals. We've just done a new study on the soils of Doon Valley. I work with a very, very good, India's top soil ecologist. And he'd done a study 10 years ago. We just did an update of the study, of comparing the farms farming chemically and our farmers, our members, who grow organically. And let me share with you some data. So nitrogen fertilizers are supposed to increase soil nitrogen. It doesn't. Soil nitrogen in chemically fertilized soils has gone down by 7%. On organic farms, it's gone up by 21%. The 3 magical inputs that are used in external input farming are NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium. The potassium has dropped by 22% on organic farms. It's gone up between 14 to 84% depending on the cropping system. Phosphorus has not declined in chemical but increased 63% in organic. Zinc, down 37%, up 14%. Magnesium, which has been identified as a very, very big micronutrient deficiency or attention deficit disorder. And zinc is being identified. I know this because a public health expert came to visit us from Australia, and she'd seen some of our publications because we don't measure yield per acre, which you can't in a diverse farm, because yield is related to a monoculture. And the fossil paradigm, the oil paradigm, makes you leave out all the other things that soil could be growing. It also makes you leave out the costs, the input costs. So even though in terms of cost, chemical farming is always more costly than the value of what a farmer is producing. And that's why they're in debt everywhere. That's why small farms are disappearing. That's why my family farms are disappearing. And again, I want to pay a tribute to the young farmers of this country who, knowing how important it is to take care of the soil, against all odds are becoming farmers, out of Yale, out of Harvard, out of Tulane, This is the highest vocation, caring for the soil. The zinc, this public health expert found, is what is missing in the epidemic of depression among teenagers in Australia. Zinc deficiency. And there's a chef called the Naked Chef in England, and he managed to get a huge grant from the government of UK to feed school kids organic food. And the kids who were violent and unstable and had huge attention deficit suddenly started to have focus. and they found a difference in the magnesium. Iron, down 12%. Bill Gates is financing a crazy project where he wants to have iron genetically engineered into bananas. Now, don't think of bananas as a source of iron. So they want to take the banana iron from 0.44 gram up to 5, after 20 years of billions spent. You just have to eat a little turmeric. Just a little bit of spinach, a little bit of the beautiful moringa, its bean, or its leaves, or its flowers. I mean, the richness of diversity and its nutrition is so high. So when we measure the production of a farm, we measure health per acre. We don't measure yield per acre. And what we do is take all the outputs of the farm and then convert it into nutrition. We could feed 2 Indias by conserving biodiversity, rejuvenating the soil, getting rid of fossil fuels. Oil is behind the crisis of hunger and malnutrition. In the obvious way that these micronutrients and trace elements are going down, and there's a very important study, a meta-study done by British scientists, I think it was at Newcastle, where they took 400 published works. And it's published in the British Journal of Nutrition for those of you who are interested. 60% increase in nutrition just by organic farming. So this idea that you've got to keep growing more and more food is senseless, because most of the crops being grown are anyway going for biofuel and animal feed. But even if you did grow more nutritionally empty commodities, you would still have a lot of hunger. You'd have a lot of hunger because of the negative economy that oil creates. You'd have a lot of hunger because monocultures and nutritionally empty commodities are missing in all these nutrients. But it doesn't end there. And this is what, for me, is what's really exciting. You know, when I go to villages, an older woman will say, you know, the reason the kids are not able to think right is because they're eating bad food, because you are what you eat. You think, we have a lovely way to put it, Jesa anna, which is food, Vesa man, you know, that your mind is shaped by a food. Now people thought this is grandmother's nonsense. But we have a sophisticated science, 5,000 years old. Ayurveda, the science of life, which always said the gut was the central organ for health. And Ayurveda has always prescribed that you must have 6 tastes to have a balanced diet. They're now finding out that the gut is a microbiome with trillions of microbes, hundreds of species. We are only 10% human. And I think we, you know, this to me is the radical shift. It's much bigger than Copernicus. We are bacteria. Now, what could be a bigger imperative to realize we are part of the earth, we are part of the soil, than this recognition? We're also now finding out that the gut is so super intelligent, they're having to call it the second brain. And it's the second brain not just because there's a lot of neurological activity going on there, but the neurological activity going on the other brain is also determined by it. I've edited a book called Seed Sovereignty and Food Security, Women in the Vanguard, partly because I was getting a bit fed up of 20 years of lies on, oh, without pesticides we can't feed the world, oh, without GMOs we can't feed the world, and it will go on, you know, we'll be 9 billion people and there'll only be GMO options, and 2 sentences repeated. I don't have to tell you how sentences repeated can become a source of governance. You're suffering it right now. But you know, it's really in agriculture The oil-based agriculture has been the source of alternative facts long before your current president came up with it. Alternative facts, we feed the world. Alternative facts, farmers became richer. Alternative facts, everyone's healthier. When we are becoming a very, very sick society. And most of the diseases, I don't call them lifestyle diseases, and I don't like that term because lifestyle suggests you're choosing it. But with this distorted price mechanism, the externalities and the subsidies, the poor aren't choosing a bad diet. It's a political economy, punishing the poorest. And it has huge consequences. The consequences are so severe that I think about 5 years ago in USA Today, I read that 1 in 65 American children was autistic. And then 3 years later, it was 1 in 35. But if you see the graph of the Center for Disease Control, it will be 1 in 2, 10, 15 years down the line. And there's a paper in that book that I mentioned, Seed Security and Food Security, Women in the Vanguard, where an MIT scientist has shown, and I showed this graph, and of course, all the Monsanto lobbyists, they record every lecture of mine. I'm sure some of you are there right now. And then, Vandana Shiva doesn't know, correlation is not causation. So I told Steffi, I said, will you tell me what are the symptoms of autism? And will you tell me what are the symptoms when Roundup and Roundup Ready crops? Effect, what happens? So, we have the biology. Monsanto says it's safe. They don't tell you. And they tell you it can't affect humans because we don't have the shikimate pathway. But the bacteria and back too. So she's worked for the metabolic changes with glyphosate and Roundup and what's happening with autism. And there are about 20 connections. And basically the challenge is this is what we should be exploring. Turns out most of the beneficial bacteria that produce the neurotransmitters that make our brain function are being killed. Our second brain is being killed. And I think the other big challenge is, I realized this even when I did quantum theory or when I did my Green Revolution study, that the idea of Cartesian causality is just not good enough. It's not good enough for the quantum world. It's not good enough for the living world. Food is a highly complex system. Our bodies are a highly complex system. The interaction between them is even more complex. So what we need is a systems causality. Not saying, no evidence, no proof. This is why, when we look at systems causality, things show up. In the petrochemical zones, there will be more cancer. Around Bhopal, there will be more cancer. From Punjab, which is the area which has used the largest chemicals in India, there's a cancer train that leaves. The metabolic disorders of the body, traceable to the systems decay, the systems destabilization. And I think another challenge intellectually is we knew as societies that negative behavior must be regulated. Otherwise you don't have societies. That's why you have an environment protection agency, so polluters don't get away. That's why you have laws. In India, we have laws of violence against women. Deregulation is the fashion of the current economic ideology and political ideology. And that's exactly at the root of the ecological crisis. That's also at the root of the health crisis, that the regulatory systems of self-organized entity are being broken down. And I think we have to work at making regulation a respectable word, again by showing it is necessity for survival. It's a necessity for survival for our human body, for the gut, for the soil organisms in the soil, for the biodiversity, for the balance between different insects and the pest-predator relationships. for society. Deregulation that rewards the criminals, whether the crime is against nature or the crime is against humans, is a crime in itself. So last year, around World Food Day, we organized a tribunal on Monsanto. And because you go to Argentina, children are dying of cancer. You come to India, the farmers are dying of death. In Sri Lanka, 40,000 people have died of kidney failure after Roundup was introduced in us as a weed killer. In every society, Monsanto is introducing Roundup for desiccation. Don't waste your time drying your crop. Just spray this. Now, they don't tell that farmer what Roundup is. So most of the wheat we are eating has been sprayed. Wheat is not genetically engineered. I mean, there was a trial in Oregon that went crazy, but most of the wheat is not genetically engineered wheat. But most of the wheat in the world is being sprayed without any approval. There's a huge wheat war taking place right now between Italy and Canada because the Canadian wheat sprayed with Roundup is being dumped on Europe. And the wonderful wheats of the Italians are now too costly, and farmers aren't able to sell. So we need regulation. Glyphosate. I mean, there's a big movement in the United States, and again, there has been this amazing movement in California to put the label that this is a probable carcinogen. Even that made these guys panic. So we are going one step further. We are saying, we don't have to waste too much time now. Just get rid of the poisons in food. We don't need them. Because we produce more and better food of the kind that our health needs, but we produce more and better food that helps the planet too. 75% of all planetary environmental problems are related to industrial farming. 75% of the water destruction in some countries, 95%. Nigeria is a place where it's coming in the news about the famine in northeast Nigeria. Earlier it was coming in the news because of Boko Haram. What isn't coming in the news is the spread of commodity agriculture around Lake Chad, which used to be 22,000 square kilometers, led to diversion of 80% of the water that fed the lake. Lake started to dry up. Conflict started. Pastoralists, fishermen, farmers, there wasn't enough water. And I teach a very high-level national defense college. I do some environmental lectures for them. Last year when I went, and they get brigadiers and generals and colonels from all over the world. And I mentioned this. And there was a brigadier from Nigeria who said, "You're so right. This problem is an ecological problem and it can't be solved in military ways. It can only be solved ecologically." 9 million people lose their livelihoods. The soil loses its capacity to grow food. You are going to have disasters. And yet because this, 140 letter Twitter governance doesn't allow the real crises that we are facing to come through. I'm a very, very, I'm a big follower of Gandhi and the fact that he put this truth at the center of his life. His book is called Experiments with Truth. But what I have learned from him is satyagraha, the force of truth. Do not cooperate with systems of destruction. And he did the salt satyagraha when the British wanted to control the salt as a monopoly. And he walked to the beach and picked up the salt from the sea and said, nature gives it for free. We need it for our survival. We will continue to make salt. We cannot obey your law. But that was in 1930. Before that, he'd done a satyagraha in 1917 because we were being forced to grow indigo for the British textile industry. Like the slaves here were working for the cotton cultivation. He'd just come back from South Africa, where he'd done his own satyagraha against compulsory registration on the basis of race. And when he went, immediately, of course, the whole movement, it's not that the peasants weren't protesting, but once Gandhi arrived, it took another level. It's called famously the Indigo Satyagraha and the Champaran Satyagraha. So when I go back from here, I'm going to begin a pilgrimage. The pilgrimage will start from where the East India Company was first challenged, and our first movement for freedom started, or a place called Meerut. Then we go to Champaran. My colleagues have just been there to collect soil from the ashram where Gandhi lived. And we're going to take that soil and plant gardens of hope all along the way of this pilgrimage. We're going to go to Bengal, where farmers have just managed to get land back that was grabbed for a car factory in Singur and a chemical factory in Nandigram. They've asked us to come and help make the transition to organic. We'll go to our seed bank in Orissa, where my colleagues grow more than 820 varieties of rice. We started this seed bank in the 90s. I think it must have been 94. In 1999, there was a super cyclone in Orissa. It was called a super cyclone because it was 3 times the average historical velocity of any cyclone. You call them hurricanes here, we call them cyclones. Same thing. But we have the salt-tolerant seeds in the seed bank, which we could distribute to the farmers. And they could start their agriculture again. 2004, the tsunami of the Bay of Bengal hit southern India. I, of course, rushed down to help, and the government had passed an order to tell the farmers for 5 years you can't grow anything because there's too much salt in the ground. I said, you can't do that, and there is an option. We have the salt-tolerant seeds. And his response was, can't be. I call our farm my can't be farm, because anytime I'd say we have so much diversity, we have 100 varieties of this, 200 varieties of, it would be can't be. I said, native varieties produce more, can't be. I said, let's start a farm where they can come and see for themselves. So I said to this can't be official, we'll bring you the seeds. And our farmers of Orissa donated 2 truckloads of salt-tolerant seeds. Now, everywhere we are being told that without genetic engineering, you can't have climate-resilient crops. That's another alternative fact. First, the climate resilience is already being bred by farmers. Genetic engineering can add a gene of Bt to that, a gene of Roundup to that, but it cannot engineer the climate resilience because it's a complex trait. So our patent office actually rejected a Monsanto application for climate resilience. How are they taking patents? There are 1,500 patents on climate resilience. Many of you might know I have had to take up cases on biopiracy again and again. We have this wonderful tree called the neem, which is a natural pest control agent. That was patented in 94, 95. Took us 11 years to find it. And did we have the kind of money that the USDA and WRA said? No, we had no money, but we had a lot of love and trust. So I joined hands with 3 women, me and 2 others, the head of the Greens in European Parliament, and the president of IFOAM, which is the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements. And I said, will you help? Because I can't keep flying. When I can't go, will you go to the court? It took us 11 years. We didn't give up. It was on 8th of March. And the appeal was being heard, and then the judge says, come back after lunch. And you don't know, you don't know if a bribe has worked in between. You don't know how things will go. So we come back, not expecting anything, and all that the judge in the patent office of Munich says is, Happy Women's Day, you won. That was our first victory against biopiracy. Then was the basmati. A company in Texas said they had invented the basmati. The plant, the grain, the height of the plant, and the aroma. And the method of cooking, which I learned at 6 from my grandmother. Even that they said they'd invented. We got that one knocked out. I did a campaign. I came to this country and went to Texas and found women who would join. And we started a postcard campaign. And those were not internet days and Facebook days. And the postcard said, it was a letter, postcard to the United States Patent and Trademark Office. If you don't drop this patent, we will have to rename you the United States Piracy and Theft Office. They dropped the patent. You know, so many people now have gluten allergies. Monsanto thought it would just feed India's old grain varieties, which don't lead to gluten, because gluten allergies are a result of the uniformity of the grain and the increase in elasticity because of industrial processing. The two have contributed to this. The minute people with gluten allergy go back to eating diversity of wheats and artisanal breads, it gets sorted out. It's happening in Iran in a big way. We want that one too. They have to drop that patent. But now they're patenting 1,500 patents on climate resilience. Do they do the work? Do they breed for 50 years? They have computers, which they take seeds from seed banks. And they know the seed is drought tolerant. They know the seed is salt tolerant because the data tells you that. It's called the passport data in gene banks. And then they run it through computers, through algorithm. They have a program called Athlete, and say, we choose a large amount of data of crops from the public domain. And then we make a guess which of the 100 will be the winning lottery ticket. They make a guess and take a patent. We've already had a disaster in Wall Street, with the financial world being reduced to a casino. Can you imagine the disaster if the very basis of our food, which begins in seed, is reduced to another casino? Irresponsibility is another serious aspect of the oil paradigm. Not only is it about separating yourself from the earth, but it's separating yourself from the consequences of your action. Find me one fossil fuel giant who has taken responsibility for their pollution. Find me one fossil fuel giant who is not trying to block the evidence that's on the ground with disasters like the super cyclone, like the floods in my region, 20,000 people washed away, and have started a huge culture of climate change denial. But they aren't just denying. While they're doing this, they're turning climate crisis into yet another opportunity. So 50% of the destruction of the stability of the climate is coming from greenhouse gases from agriculture and the globalized food system. Monsanto then started, and I was smiling to myself because he brought me a bottle called Smart Water. They started something called Climate Smart Agriculture. And every day they bring a new trip. The first climate smartness was bring Roundup. Yeah. Now they've gone more serious. They bought up the world's largest climate data corporation and the world's largest soil data corporation. And then they have joined up with a farm machinery giants like John Deere, to put spyware into tractors. So as the tractor moves over your farm, it's going to collect data on your farm. going to collect how much nitrogen, how much phosphorus, going to send it to Monsanto, and then Monsanto will sell it back to you as a big data. Big data is their new commodity. Then they're buying Silicon Valley firms. 16 they bought in the last few months. 16. The Climate Data Corporation itself is expected to generate $3 trillion of business. And through locking big data and insurance. You have a big debate on the health insurance issue. But agriculture is going very fast in that direction. And I want to read out two quotes. One is from the MD of the growth ventures of Monsanto. This is the part of Monsanto that goes by Silicon Valley companies. And he says, if you think about it, there are two people on earth that need to know a lot about remote sensing technology, Monsanto and the CIA. Do we want farming to be a surveillance system? Or do we want to recognize that in farming, with gratitude, we give back to the earth so that she can sustain us, and then we can share our seeds and our food? That relationship of care for the earth produces more food. We've seen this. I've seen it for years. We've documented it in the farms of all our members. Farmers, Nathania farmers, earn 10 times more than the commodity farmers. Just for having their own seeds, so they don't waste money on that. Not buying poisons and chemicals, they don't waste money on that. And they shape their own market, so they don't get ripped off there, where they get 1% of what a consumer pays in commodity markets. But the man who founded the Climate Corporation, David Freiberg, says, I've come to realize there are two primary consumption markets on Earth. One is the energy market, which is designed to feed machines, and then there's the food market, which feeds people. Without those two markets, none of the other markets would work. And that is the fundamentalism, that the world is a market you control, a market you monopolize. The energy market feeds machines. First of all, energy is not a market. Energy is what keeps life going. Energy, in our language, is Shakti. The word for energy in Sanskrit and Hindi is Shakti. But it's also feminine power, non-violent power. And that Shakti is in everyone. It's not based on sex. It's not that Leanne has Shakti and her brother doesn't. No, there's Shakti in every cell, there's Shakti in every blade of grass, there's Shakti in the universe. And when people ask me, how do you carry on tirelessly? 50 years, half a century. And where do you get the energy? I said, listen, energy is not a chargeable thing you put into a socket out there and you get it. Energy is life. Energy is consciousness. Energy is celebrating our oneness with the earth and with each other. And it is limitless. Thank you. There's a microphone in the center aisle. Feel free to step up if you have a question.
You spoke early on about the transition to industrial agriculture from traditional agriculture and the subsequent spike in population in places like India was a perspective that was very fresh to me. But if we would have waved a magic wand and returned to sustainable agriculture, get rid of all the negative industrial agriculture that we so often talked about, would population growth, the exponential growth, still be a problem in your mind? Is there a carrying capacity of the Earth for population? Should there be a population limit? For example, do you agree with the China, up until recently, their one-child per family policy? But how does that fit into your overall perspective?
Well, first, you've just admitted that China's one-child policy didn't work. They had to change it because it created huge social dysfunctionalities. The issue of population control is always who will control whose population. I mentioned the issue of regulation, self-regulation. Knowing the carrying capacity only works when you have the ability to exercise self-regulation over the population. I'll give you the example of Kerala. Now, Kerala is the only part, it's had a huge negative decline in population. Did they go coercively? Did they force all kinds of sterilization on women of Kerala? No. They did something very simple. They said the poorest woman will own the piece of land on which her hut is. The peasants will have a limit on the land they have, which is a law in India anyway. Just that equity in access to resources became the best birth control measure. Because why do people increase their numbers? I'm uprooted. I don't know how long I live. So I'm going to have more kids for old age security. The water's running out. One kid has to go run for water. Maybe one kid might polish shoes on a street corner. When you've lost the security in the earth, which is the soil security, the only way you can live day to day in an unstable, unpredictable, very precarious situation is have larger numbers of children. And this has been done, analyzed. Mehdi Mamdani is a professor at Columbia, originally from Uganda, and he did a book on population in Punjab, the Green Revolution area. And he's talking to the poor landless peasant and saying, why do you have so many kids? And he said, the landlord can go buy his next tractor. I can only have the next kid. So, when this issue of, we don't need a magic wand on the sustainable agriculture transition. I think we are living in times where that transition is happening. It's happening against all odds and against all intentions. But it's happening, the biggest growth sector in the world is organic farming. Not designed by the corporations or the oil industry or by governments, but growing from the bottom up. Will you come a little closer to you? No, closer to the mic. But you're very welcome to come close.
It's not.
You're too tall, that's the problem, yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
My name is Carrie, and I run a program called Edible Schoolyard. And we serve kids who are about 5 to 14 years old, teaching them gardening and how to grow their own food and the different systems of food throughout the world. And it's a privilege and a tremendous responsibility to determine what is the most essential content to teach them in this really formative stage of life. And so I'm very curious. I've read so many of your books throughout the development of how we approach our curriculum, and your words are often in our minds. And so from your thoughts today of just, if you were going to define one or two things you think are the most critical pieces to make sure that our children of New Orleans are, and just the world in general, are focused on what would they be?
Well, for one, thank you for doing gardens, for anyone who's involved in gardens. I think it's our most important work. The only place we'll be able to reclaim freedom, the only place we'll be able to reclaim fearlessness, and the only place we'll be able to realize that the earth provides enough for everyone's needs, but not for a few people's greed, something Gandhi said, will come from gardens. You know, we have a war system that came out of oil. Without wars, you can't control oil. And you have a peace system that comes from the soil. And that peace system grows in a garden. So when you say the curriculum, and that reason I started the Earth University where Leah came, is because I realized that everyone should know gardening and farming. Everyone. It can't be treated as something that's left to a few people who you then wipe out because they're moving towards farming without farmers. But the only farming without farmers is a farming with fossil fuels and poisons. And that means you'll never get real food. I think a child who touches the soil realizes the soil is alive. And I think the best education in Earth democracy and Earth citizenship is the richness of the community in the soil. Second, we've started lots of gardens. We call them gardens of hope. And when I've revisited schools where we started, I remember once I asked a child, I said, "What did you learn?" And he says, "You know, we planted one little seed of tomato, and then it gave us hundreds of tomatoes. We had lots of seeds, and we could eat many, and we saved a few, and out of one seed came so many seeds." That lesson of abundance is what our children aren't learning. They're being taught scarcity, they're being taught fear, they're being taught dependence. They will get their freedom out of that abundance.
I think this will be our last question of the night.
Hi there, my name is Chris. Thank you so much for your informative.
Why does Tulane have such soft speaking?
But I've been researching. Also, this week there was a plant medicine summit that was going on. That was online for free, and it was talking about like herbology and sort of redesigning, replanting our microbiomes through what we're eating. And it had me thinking about just sort of the ways in which we've been colonized in our behaviors. And I was thinking about what you mentioned with like how the soil has been depleted of like the necessary bacteria. And I wanted to hear your thoughts on sort of on our issues of dealing with our own waste, like our fecal matter, and sort of like decolonizing that, and how we're so removed from it, also as a result of so many chemicals that we're ingesting. And sort of the antithesis of that is like people who are trying to be as like chemical free and organic in terms of what they're eating, and like if the microbiome is like intact inside them, like is that something that I know it's a sanitation issue obviously, but I was just curious about like what does it mean to like really bring back the soil alive and be connected with the earth, and your thoughts on that, and how we interact with water and use so much water to deal with our sanitation system. Just
You've asked a long question. I'll try and give it a very short answer because of lack of time. The first is I really do believe disrupting the cycle of nutrition in the human waste has been one of the most destructive aspects. You already mentioned the pollution of water and rivers, but it's also what has led to the spread of so much fertilizer, because one species that is getting so big in number, if their waste is not returning to the soil for fertility, something's very wrong. That's why I'm a big promoter of biogas. I'm a very big promoter of biogas, a very neglected aspect of renewable energy, because it gives you energy to light your bulb, but it also gives you manure and compost. But the last thing I want to say is, when I talked about bacteria, that we are bacteria, I think we need to change our development indicators. Because, now they're having, with so much assault on our microbiome and so much use of antibiotics, in the West, people have such desertified guts that they're having to have what are called fecal transplant surgeons. Someone else's shit is introduced into you. and the people whose shit has to be introduced into you are the ones who were called underdeveloped. So we need to have a development indicator linked to the richness of the diversity in our microbiome, richness in the diversity of soil. And I think if we start looking at things from the view of soil, diversity becomes central. From oil comes monocultures, monopolies, militarism, mechanistic thought. From soil comes ecological thought and the need to nourish and celebrate diversity.